Hi. When you think of CSGO maps, you think of Dust 2, Mirage, or if you're feeling spicy, Inferno. You don't often think about the maps I will be going over today. I'll be covering the official maps which you can still play in CSGO today, not unofficial ones or ones from 1.6 or Source. Majority of the forgotten maps of CSGO pertain to the hostage rescue mode, as it is most unpopular among casual players of the game, apart from cheaters and people having a quick laugh on offers. This is most likely due to the lack of impression given in professional esports games, and as it was developed before bomb defusal mode in 1.6, so people were ready for a new mode, leaving its imprint on the game series permanently. Assault. To start off, Assault, one of my favourite official maps in Counter-Strike as a whole, is one of the only maps to have an open city layout, not including Vertigo and Dizzy. The map has a weird and unique spawning spot for both CT and T side, with the CTs being in the middle of a closed off street with a single SWAT van behind them. This is odd as most maps there are multiple vans or other things signifying the CT's arrival, like Vertigo and Agency's helicopter, which doesn't exist anymore, which is seen in every other map other than Dust 2, making it seem peculiar in a lore perspective. Anyway, that is a concept for a future video. The map seems to be one of the biggest maps, but in fact it is not, and it only takes up 11.27 kilo hammer units squared, which was figured out using a technique adopted by Kianje, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, which was posted on the CSGO subreddit. The way which it is calculated is by using kilo hammer units squared, a format used specifically for Valve games and map dimensions. The way it is done is described in plan in the comments of his post, so you can try it for yourself. Just be aware that there will be some instability and weird bugs will occur, like when I got spawned out of the playable map on Assault when testing the process. The full practice of using nav mesh to calculate the area is not 100% accurate. As you can see on Dust 2, it does not register some parts of the map as a nav mesh, or movable spaces when it is, like this little part on Dust 2 pit, or the barrel here. In Assault, the same is noticeable, except there are more instances than in Dust 2, where you can see on screen. Back to the map. The reason it feels so large is because of the verticality of the buildings and because the warehouse and the train station are two-story, whilst the overall mass of the map is not that large. Assault is one of those maps that is rare to play in a casual or deathmatch game, usually chosen over more popular maps. The map is very similar to the CS Source version. This and the maps Officer and Shoots, which have not been remastered or changed drastically by Valve since release, still hold the dark, gritty feeling of early CSGO and CS Source. This is the CS Source version. As you can see, there are less noticeable nav meshes, and in this version, as it is Source, has a lot of physics objects, some of which you can and can't climb on, making the whole nav mesh debacle a bit more confusing. The reason the maps aren't remastered yet is due to the smaller number of players on it and the niche that is these maps. Removing them would make the pool a bit more barren, but remastering them would be a waste of effort, as to only please some players when Valve could just make Source too. The map has 3 access points to where the hostages are kept, which is the warehouse. The access points are through the roof, back alley, and front entrance. This is unique and even feels a bit like a Rainbow Six map just because of the open nature of it. I have limited experience with Rainbow Six, so please don't judge. I've said enough about this map, so let's move on to the next one. Militia. Militia is another CS Source map that has the same atmosphere as Assault in my opinion. This is also because of the dark and gritty textures that were ported from Half-Life 2. On this map there is also a ute, which I believe is the same one used in the beta leaks, just reworked to look more high definition. At least in my head it did when I checked this. This is pretty cool because when I first played Half-Life 2 beta, the one thing that stuck out to me ironically was this Ford ute on the left of the alleyway. It just looks cool. Militia has changed a lot from Source visually and from a gameplay perspective. The entire way the game is played for the CTs has now changed, as they don't have to go as far and the underground pathway is more accessible. Visually, the map is now snowy in the latest rendition of CSGO, and not as pretty as the Source version in my opinion. The Source version is one of the best looking maps in all of Counter-Strike, and the reference to the studio Turtle Rock is subtle but still really neat. The little details in Source seem to be glossed over in the remake for CSGO, leaving it like a husk of its former self, taking away focus from the main building, favouring a lot more indoor areas with different sheds on the map. To me, this makes the whole idea of the map less definitive and less clear on what you're really supposed to be doing. This map is 7.45 kilo hammer units squared, so definitely not large, but not small either. By comparison, Dust 2 is about 8. As I said before, the map is really quite different from Source due to the many different areas and rooms to enter, making a more outside map turn into an indoors firefight. Small areas such as the living room in Source turn into a Bitcoin mining den, Jokes aside, this area is pretty weird as is. In a future video I might discuss the stories behind each map, as visual storytelling is definitely one of Valve's strong points, and I know for sure I'll get into that in another video, just not to bloat this one any more than it already is, so I'll leave it to another day. This is definitely my second favourite forgotten map of CSGO, and that's a shame because it seems Valve really wanted to re-implement it into the game due to the massive amount of balancing changes from Source to CSGO and visual changes. Really seemed they liked it as well. Now, last but not least, Sugarcane. Sugarcane, one of the smallest maps in the game, sitting at 5.39 kilohammer units squared. It comes as a snack-sized map to play with friends on. I can't say that though because I don't have any friends. As Sugarcane is only 5.39, it makes it the smallest map, just behind Militia at 7.45 and Assault at 11.27. Counter-Strike wiki fandom says that Sugarcane is a popular map from the old version of Counter-Strike. Yet, from my digging, I haven't found any history or proof of this being true, so please let me know in the comments if you know about this. I do know that it is directly linked to the Left 4 Dead 2 universe, but that's the extent of my knowledge outside of CSGO on this map. I don't have much to say about this map except the terrorists, who seem to be modern day pirates, have a direct goal of blowing up a safe in the sugarcane mill to gain what I can only assume is money or bonds of the like. The map was originally called Mill or something similar to that before it became Sugarcane, a more direct name which I prefer, as you really think of the map when you hear it, as opposed to Mill, which could just be anything. The map is interesting and unique, and I like this little attention to detail of the tap and the seagulls overhead, but it lacks the excitement and valor of the larger maps like Militia and Assault. When you think larger, you think less details, yet it seems the opposite here. There's still detail, like the seagulls, the tap, the safe, but there is no clear entry point for where the terrorists began, and like how do they even get there? In this predicament, the place seems abandoned, none of the machines are moving or working, so what's their motivation, and why do the CTs care? We all know that the CTs are not police, but an army militia of sorts. But that doesn't explain their motivation here. Does the CT secretly keep their items in a safe in an old abandoned sugarcane mill? Is this their property and they're claiming insurance fraud or something? What's going on here? Please help. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you think the story here is, because I have no idea. Finally, I think overall the most forgotten and nostalgic map has to go with Assault. It's just too memorable. Might not be the prettiest or the most diverse like Militia is, but it sure is a breath of fresh air and overplayed saturation that is Mirage and Dust 2 in modern CSGO. Thank you guys for watching, I'll see you in the next one.
Hello, Janitor.